And we are everybody.
Hello.
Hi. So yeah, this is a surprise webinar that we are doing that Luis and I knew about, but you guys didn't until we announced it this weekend. This is about something that we've been working on for a longer time, but I thought maybe we first need to do like a little intro together because some people might know me, but maybe not yet Luis Valenzuela. So I don't know, Luis, if you want to kick off with who you are and where you are at this moment and what you do.
Sure, Nico. Well, thank you. Thank you. And this is a great opportunity for me and for the team here in Miami. I'm Luis Valenzuela, the founder and director for the Miami Shoe Museum. And it's a pleasure to be collaborating with Nico specific and the whole team that I've been meeting, since we had a lot of meetings related to this event that you guys are going to see today.
Yeah.
But it is a pleasure to work with professionals in the industry that are looking forward to move a little bit and check a little bit the footwear industry that we're in. So the Miami Shoe Museum started, I guess, years ago. Let's say in that way. But I started collecting 17 years ago shoes, historical shoes, for to start like getting into to know more about what happened in the past, to be able to actually talk and be present in this kind of events for the future. So we are located in Miami. We opened the research center like a month ago because people were asking that how they can see part of the collection, how they can interact with us on the researching. They want to see materials, they want to see materials in the past, and how they actually put that in the present and to work better for the future. So we open in downtown Miami, and it's open to the public Wednesday to Saturday. In the mornings, we keep doing researching, and we keep doing, we have time actually to create events like this, the one that we're launching today. And but we also have a shoe vault that is showing a little bit every time, every 2 months, we change the exhibition to showcase a little bit what we have. So again, it is a pleasure. I'm always looking for innovations and ways to connect with the community. And I think what we're doing we're going to launch today is going to actually put us in another part of the map. And everybody
Yeah.
that joined us will be in that world with us. So thank you
Yeah.
for being open to collaborate. I'm a fashion designer.
Yeah.
I'm a journalist, so I like to document things. I like to document what happened especially with people and with materials and with innovation. I always try to like be on top of like what is going on in the world, not only in the technical part, but also in the social part. So I think what is happening right now with the AI and all this technology, new technology that are coming on place, I think the world is in a different place, and it's gonna get better actually for what we're doing. So again, thank
Yeah.
you, and you will see. Let's
Yeah. No, yeah, you're welcome. So because of course, I mean, what I really like, many people who know me know that I really love. Oh, there's Renee from Boston just came from the CD Fam, I think from the
Hey,
3D
Renee.
design meeting. Hi, yeah. And so of course many people who know me know that I really love museums, that I've been involved with the Dutch Footwear Museum, always very passionate about historic footwear because I think it's a big resource also for the future. And so I'm very happy that I actually, for the first time in my career, that there's a new footwear museum opening in an area that is not necessarily a traditional footwear area. So
Exactly.
how does this come about? Why here in Miami? And what's going to be different then about Miami Shoe Museum as opposed to the maybe more traditional shoe museums that we know in the world that are usually about a specific area where footwear manufacturing used to be?
Yeah. Well, we have historical, collections. We go all the way back to 1400. But since I'm a really curious guy, I always look for what happened and how can we use that information in the present to develop better things for the future. So that's gonna be the difference in this museum specific, because as everybody knows, probably Miami is a melting pot of culture, architecture, It is, I mean, and it's changing. Like, I've been here for 23 years. I'm originally from Venezuela. I
Yeah.
left my country 23 years ago, and I'm here. I always, try to look for what to do in the city for to get a better, citizenship here in Miami. So
Yeah.
I made the decision 3 years ago to establish the Miami Shoe Museum, especially because the collection that we have is actually it's also a melting pot. It's a melting pot of
Yeah.
cultures. It's and
Yeah.
I'm fascinating about Asia. All. I mean, to be honest, I'm a citizen of the world, and I try to put that on the collection as well. So we have pieces all over from all over the place, and even from before the late 1800s, we never knew who designed the shoes, and we had a lot of pieces from that time
Yeah.
as well. But why? Because we want to know about materials. We want to know, for example, we're fascinated about what happened with Ferragamo when he couldn't use leather after the World War II. So what he did,
Yeah.
he joined collaborations with different artisans to bring those materials to the shoes that he was designing. So
Yeah.
again, fascinating for that. I think the difference that we're going to put in here, and we are connected, of course, with different museums around the world. Uh, to see what they're doing and all the exhibitions that they do. And but I
Yeah.
think to put together the research center for people to actually join and see what we're doing and see life a piece from 1400, that is going to make a difference. And we're getting a lot of
Yes.
inquiries for
Exactly.
that. So it's a membership based,
Yes.
and people
Yeah.
want to.
That's actually also an interesting one. Tell me about the membership, because it's different the system, right, that you have compared to
Yeah,
just going there
it's
buying a ticket.
I mean, people can come and see the exhibition. They can buy one day entry, but also we want them to join during the year. So if they have any project that we can actually collaborate with them, we're getting people from different parts of the world as well that they don't live in Miami, but we can do online content with them. They want to write papers
Oh,
about
yeah.
different designs. So again, it's like international, let's say, in that space. We're based in Miami, in downtown Miami, but we're open to the world to work together. And we're getting inquiries like every single day, at least 10 to 100 one day, emails that people want to know more about what we have. So they can check the collection online. It's miamishoemuseum.us. And they can ship emails and they can, we can work together. But you guys are going to see the difference that we're doing, because this, what we're launching today, is going to make a difference for us, actually.
Yeah, and also kind of sets the museum in the direction that I also find interesting. I've always said that museums are me. I mean, what is interesting is that when people now look at a museum, they think
Mm-hmm.
it's all this is all the dusty historic footwear, and historic to us never means innovative. And a lot of people don't realize that actually the shoes that made it to museums, historic shoes that made it to museums, are the most innovative ones of their times, like the one that you mentioned just by Ferragamo and how he had to recycle things. One of the largest, most famous innovators, I think, in the footwear industry.
Correct.
So I think it's really that museums are the keepers of innovation, and also we often forget that those shoes are very innovative, probably still. I honestly think that a lot of people, when they see the Ferragamo shoes now, that there's still many things in there that are still really innovative now. So I think that's also the interesting thing about what you do, where you're bringing this museum into a much more modern setting. So it's downtown Miami. It's in a modern building. It shows history, but in from a very modern perspective.
We're actually in a
So
1920s building in downtown Miami, which is fantastic because as soon as you get into the building, you
yeah,
can see we're part of it's a Mana Group, fashion group that is a lot of designers around here, lawyers, and but it's
yeah,
again the melting pot of culture in this building. So
yeah,
the moment that you get into the building, you're in another time. And when you get into the space, it's really modern. I mean, you can see, I mean, the walls are like kind of like artistic, kind of Wingwood feeling, but you see history here and through the art. So that's the part that I'm thinking. It took me a long time to conceptualize what I want people to see it. But I mean, the response is we did an event with members 3 weeks ago for them to enjoy, a little bit of what they were expecting. And they say that we actually went above
And
the
beyond, yeah, you can see on your Instagram the videos also of the opening, which were quite spectacular. I think I thought maybe before we jump into what we are going to organize together, final question maybe is, since you are the collector and the brain behind the museum, so how do you collect? How do you select shoes for the museum? What leads you in your decisions when you create the collection? Because I'm assuming you're still building and still collecting also
Oh
to
yeah,
this day.
big time. Every day, I mean, I normally do 5 or 6 hours a day of researching, and that's a great question because, again, since I was a child, I'm really curious about what is going on. So I educate myself. It's a lot of books that you can actually buy and read what happened, but I also go to the Life magazines, to the Vogue, everything that happened in the industry tell me, where to go to find something important. And I always buy from collectors. So I like to see how people preserve. So when we did this exhibition that we have right now at the Shoe Vault, that is called Stepping Stones, we showcase the shoe that is the oldest one that we have from the 1400s. People were like,
Yeah,
how do you preserve that from? I said, well, it came from somebody that actually was doing a great job, and I got it like I think probably 10 years ago, and it's been doing a lot of investigation on how to keep it the way that it looks like. So we noticed
yeah,
changes in the gold thread, but that's what I'm getting right now to see what happens because it was really in the shadow for a while. So I mean, we use white lights like museum style, but
yeah,
we're also gonna see what is going on with those shoes. Again, those are
yeah,
gonna be papers that we're gonna release for people to. In my case, I'm a journalist, so I like people to see what we do, and maybe that can be helpful for them to continue something.
yeah,
So I go really really to whatever happened in time, in
yeah,
design, and in society for me to inspire me to look for the pieces that I look for.
yeah, that you look for. So, what is also interesting, of course, and that's one thing that I had been working on when I was in the Netherlands, working with the museum and making plans for the museum at the time, is of course that museums are also in a unique position to create collections and not just collect. So I
Mhm.
think that's also much more something that we are now setting out to do. That's the project that we're going to do together. We are going to make a step to create also new collection for the Miami Shoe Museum in collaboration through both our networks. Do you want to tell people more about it, and then I
Sure.
pitch in with how we do stuff?
I like to
Perfect.
talk, and especially this one, this challenge that we're releasing right now, or right now, that's the momentum. So I can hear the music. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the name is Miami Vibe, and the idea is we, Nico and myself and our teams are fascinated about innovation. So we are curious about what is going on with AI. So this is AI footwear challenge. It's the first one in the world. We researched a lot, and it's nothing like that in the world. So we're setting some new milestone here right now because we're inviting designers, architects, students, whoever wants to get into this passion. Of course, you need to know a little bit, about design, footwear. And if you don't know, there's a lot of YouTube videos, or you can contact us to we can guide you guys how to go to get it. But the idea is to use AI to design footwear. I know it's a lot of designers that are doing it right now, but it's not a contest like this, it's not a challenge like that in the market. And the best part, which is the part that I'm fascinated that again that Nico is doing what they're doing at Photo Royal is right there, that the winner pieces are gonna be actually manufactured. How? I want Nicole to explain that because it's an event that she's
Yeah,
been doing. It's
exactly.
the second edition of Footwear Rise. So I want her to tell us a little bit. So this competition is global. You can be in your whatever part of the world you are in. Just we're gonna put the link. Actually, we're gonna release for the first time the link to apply, and you can see all the details about the contest in that page.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
tell
Exactly.
tell everybody what is your role here.
I can tell everybody what the role. So, of course, people who know me, they know that we do a lot at Footwearology with AI, teaching it, doing a lot of consulting and development for that. What people also know is that I'm not the person to just go like, oh, let's create a pretty picture. No, of course, the interesting discussions that we have within footwear and any other business, by the way, influenced by AI for design, is like, okay, great. How does this influence us? Does this help us forward or no? Is it just going to be pictures that cannot actually be manufactured or done at all? On the other hand, me as a person that uses a lot of AI, I'm often surprised by the surprising ideas that AI gives me, right? So I'm trying to achieve something. On my side, for instance, I experiment with modular constructions for sustainability. And then, of course, an AI doesn't understand how shoes are made, as that's not what it's trained in. So it could give me ideas that I'm like, oh, I'd never thought of that. Another thing, like what you mentioned, is that before, when you would have a footwear design contest, whether you were able to draw footwear. So design was always synonymous with being able to draw. And I think that's not necessarily the case. A good designer is somebody who's a great thinker, who can really understand new concepts, ideas, who dares to innovate, and does not necessarily have to be somebody who can draw. And what I see also in all my training, and that's what we wanted to translate to the contest as well, is that people who before could not be involved in the design process because they cannot draw themselves and then think that, okay, I cannot do design, suddenly found when they started using AI, like, oh, wait, now I can visualize what's on my brain. So, like you say, architects who might not have experience in shoes might actually come up with super interesting things for footwear. Now, simply because they're able to use AI to visualize that. So, and then the other part of that is, and that's why we are combining this event with Footwearize. Footwearize is our event that we have in December. Every single year, we bring together all the people in the industry that, as I would say, help to create a better future. So, how can we make shoes local for local? How can we do it automated? How can we use new design technologies? How can we have new materials that are fully circular or fully plant based in many ways? How can we have end of life systems? So, what we thought is like we have such a big resource of new makers there, new technology companies, that it's not going to be us, Luis and I, to decide who has the best design and how are we going to make it. We're going to do this fully like open source together with the entire audience of Footwearize. So that also not only will the audience of Footwearize decide who's the final three winners, it's also that we are going to brainstorm with them. Okay, looking at these pictures, how would we make it? What new technologies do we have in this entire audience of a few hundred people that could help make these shoes in the most sustainable way possible? So, how could we combine molding, printing, new materials, knitting, anything that we have in the room? So, that will probably add even more ideas to the challenge, probably even more than the designers might have themselves. Because I expect that the entries will probably be really creative shoes that have been created with AI. You also find on the website what are the different criteria, what do we expect of you, how do you need to show how you use the AI. But then I think the interesting part is then the discussion like, okay, now look at these images. How can we actually make that? And I think for most of the shoes, we probably have several options. Like, oh, you could do this, or you could do this, that. So I think that's going to be the interesting part also, where it's not just going to be, okay, now look at a pretty picture. No. We're going to actually select what can be made and then brainstorm about how it can be made and then push the envelope on the making. And then those shoes that are eventually made will also then, of course, be exhibited next year, because that will take some time, with you in Miami.
Yeah. So yeah, the exposure that the designers or the entrants are going to have worldwide. I mean, it's fantastic because why? First, I mean, of course, the museum had a great networking group, and you also, had a lot of knowledge and people behind you that can, make this whole thing better. So next week, everybody that wants to join the contest can attend one mini class. It's a master class
Yeah.
that Nico is doing it about how to use AI in the design world
Yeah.
principles, because she had a curriculum that I was looking at. It is fantastic that you can actually join later for your career or for the contest, that you guys can go with her directly with her company later on. But it's gonna be a mini class, a mini master class that she's gonna start telling people what to do. And the funny part or the best part of this content, which is makes me super happy, is the inspiration behind is about Miami. Miami is a city that inspires so many projects in the world, and we are researching about that. And probably more than 20 shoes already have been inspired by Miami, and people keep looking. And Miami is growing fast, like faster than anything else in the world. I mean, I live really close by in Brooklyn, and it's changing the view is changing every single day. You look at a corner and it's a building right there. So uh, but also have the Art Deco. You can enjoy the beach. You can enjoy parties. Maybe people look at Miami as a party town, but it's also actually it's another community here that we deal with different stuff in Miami. But Miami also was the only. I mean, the state it was the only founded by a woman. So it's a lot of history here that and we are located actually in a corner where Miami, downtown Miami started, in Flagler and North Miami. That's where Miami started. So it's a lot of things that you can find online to get inspired by. And we put together in that page, that the landing page for the contest, also a few information that you can use. But when I mentioned that to Nico, she was like, "I love the idea. Why? Do you remember that comment that you mentioned?
Yeah.
Can you tell us
The idea about Miami, or
about Miami being the inspiration behind this contest?"
no, I like it because I mean it's what I probably I don't know exactly what comment you might refer to at this moment, but what I think in general is interesting is, of course, that when you use AI, it's going to be about what the user thinks that Miami is and what AI thinks that Miami is.
That was the comment.
So it's also it's going to be interesting because, as we know, or maybe some of you maybe don't know, but when you work with AI, at least generative AIs that make imagery, they're trained on existing images.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is one of the discussions within the AI world. So it will be interesting maybe to also see in the entries what types of images of Miami or interpretations of Miami AIs have. So it's going to be an interesting one because we're not telling people which AI to use. So like Luis says, next week, Tuesday, the same time, I will give for free an hour of AI class just to give you a taste of what you could do. And it's going to be a wide range of AIs. I'm not going to take you by the hand and go like, now do this, now do that.
Yes.
No, that's up to you. If you want to go more in depth, you can follow our training. What I'm going to do next week is really to take you through like a plethora of different AIs that you could use for many different ways, because you're free to use, I don't know, if you start from sketches and want to draw something and want the AI to fill in your drawing, you can do that. If you want to start purely from photographs, you can do that. If you would rather create video, you can do that. If you start from a video and want to then change to something that's more still. If you want to use AIs that do 3D, there's many different things that you can do, and I'm going to give you a bit of an overview. And I'm also then there to answer people's questions. So we have put also on the website some inspiration themes, I think, of Miami, simply for people who might not be familiar with Miami at all, to kind of inspire them. But feel free to choose whatever you feel about Miami to do that. This is just to give you some idea of different things that are related to Miami. But if somebody else has a completely different idea, or if you have a personal experience with Miami or a personal memory of Miami, or doesn't matter, right? And it can be any inspiration from Miami. I mean, we're probably not looking for a shoe that says Miami on the
Please no, and not pretty pictures. I mean, not the picture or the sun, whatever. We're looking for innovators, and why? this collection is going to start a new collection that we're doing in the Miami Shoe Museum. The prototypes are going to be part of the collection that we're having here, part of the innovation room that we're actually putting together. Why? Because we really want the community to be part of us, and not only the Miami community, the world community. Because if we had a shoe here that it came from an investigation and research, about the city that we are based on, it's going to attract a lot of people, and so your name is going to be there. So we encourage really to do your work, research a lot about Miami, pick whatever you like about Miami or whatever you like about what is happening here, the vibe of Miami, which is that's what we put the name Miami Vibe. And also there are movies, of course, Miami Vibe. Nice, the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, the colors, the colors. I mean, again, the second largest architectural collection about Art Deco in Miami. So we have museums. We have, I mean, you name it. It's a lot of. We have the Cubans, which is a great personality here. We have a multicultural, and we have Latinos. Of course, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But we also have Americans that enjoy that. They really like that flavor. Of the cafecito. The coffee, the kind of coffee for Cubans, or the arepa from the Venezuelans, or the churrasco from the Argentinians, or even Russians are here a lot. We have Ukrainian, we have whatever nationality you name it. Sometimes I go to dinners, and I always like to bring this to the table, like to count how many nationalities we have in the table, and sometimes the record is 25. So we all went from different parts of the world, sitting in one table talking about art one day, for example, during a basketball. Yeah. So again, if that's what it is, if that's what you're attracted about Miami, that is a melting pot, that will be your theme. So be open to search and research and put those elements in your comments to AI. Yeah. Create the actual issue there. And also sustainability. That's a key point.
I was about to say, yeah.
A key point here. I'm fascinated with sustainability. I'm the founder of Earth Day Miami. I did that in 2007. So I've been looking for a lot of new materials, and Nico and I talk about that every single time that we meet. That is like what is going on in the world. That's actually where we have the research center, because sustainability is an important item that we're living, right now in the design industry. Yeah. So, Nico, tell them.
Like a changing weather. I mean, as we are speaking, you are about to go back home to basically hunker down for Milton, the hurricane that's coming your way, and then unfortunately it's going to be much worse even in other parts of Florida. Exactly. And of course, this is only one example of the more extreme weather that we're getting. So it's really up to people what subject they choose. We're going to be looking at materials that you might either, it doesn't have to be something already that fully exists, because we're doing it in AI. So AI will help you create something for you. But for us, it's more about that we see the thinking behind it. So what do you think the material should be? What do you think that the construction of the shoe would be like? So it could be that very much that, depending on the criteria that we have in the competition, that you will do part in AI and part you still have to kind of draw and edit yourself, because we are going to ask for all views of the shoe. So in some cases this is possible, in some cases not. I will show you how to do some 3D AI. You don't have to use that, it's all up to you. But of course we want to understand, what are your thoughts? We don't want you to just go like, here's one shoe that looks like a building in Miami. No, we're looking for, what is your thoughts really behind this? What did you ask from the AI? Why did you ask that from the AI? What did you hope the AI would come up with? It's also fun for us to see the process, right? Because people who use AI, like myself, it's not that your first image is the right one. You could get a lot of miss things where you're like, so, but that's actually also fun to see, the process.
We want them to document that part too, because we're asking for a video also that explain your process. So and you're gonna put all that information in Google Drive, and we just get the link for you guys, and we want to see the whole process, how you came out with that concept, where all the tools that you use, because again, it's an investigation. What we're doing is a research about how people in this particular part of the design part of the world, the footwear, how they think they can get more information from AI, because AI is right now,
Yep.
it's really changing the world. It changed my world, so it changed everybody's world. I mean, we've been using the AI for a
Yep.
while, but now it's like official, it's a tool. I don't see as a threat. For me, it's actually another tool that that it was invented for us to use it. But that's why
Yep.
we wanted to like to do something like really putting one really archive in the world using this technology that in the
Yep.
stationary right now. We're going to document what is going on here. And from now, I mean, let's say in a year after that competition, that contest is done, maybe we will the second one to see, what is the difference between that time, what
Yep.
happened in the
What
world.
are
So,
the updates, or what are different things? So I think what's also important for everybody to know, when you will go onto the page of the Miami Vibes Footwear Challenge, you will find all the criteria. You will also find that we're asking a small entry fee for people to join.
mhm,
This is for a number of reasons, because you're also really getting a lot. We're asking a lot of you, but we're also not just, I don't mean the money, but I mean the input that you need to give, but we're also really giving a lot. So first of all, your design will go through a process by two teams of professionals that are going to be looking at it. The final 10 finalists will be shown like in a gallery at Footwear at our event. So this is in front of hundreds of people from the industry that you'll get exposure to, that could also potentially help making your shoe. Those 10 finalists that are chosen are also getting free access to this event. So if you are one of the 10 finalists, fortunately, we could not cover all your travel costs, but you will have free tickets. Go and present yourself also. So you will have a beautiful gallery there that all the visitors of the event can see the designs. And those visitors of the event are going to choose the finalists. So are going to be looking at your stuff. If you're there yourself, of course, explain even more what you did. That's great. I see already this is right up my alley. Different people commenting here. That's great on the crowdcast. So
yeah. Well, also,
this is a part that you're getting, and then of course, yeah. Go ahead.
to be exposed to the right people. So it's gonna be one you before the contest and one after the contest. Especially if you will be able to go there and pay for your expenses and be part of the event. But it's an event that Nico and her team are putting together. That I also I'll be there. But I would like to. I mean, one of my dreams is to be sitting in there, looking at how people see the reaction from people about those designs. So
Yep.
if you're a designer, I'm a
Yep.
designer, so I like to be exposed, to comments and critics, and because that's the best
Yep.
way for us to get better.
That's part of it, because it will give really interesting conversation, because the audience ranges from innovation departments of large brands all the way down to new tech startups. Then we have a lot of designers always from the 3D printing community coming, that have a lot of design freedom because they do printing. It's not just printing what we do, but we have a big community from there. We have people that have big factories that are there. So they also, of course, very critical, go like, how are
And
we
then,
going to do that? So I'm also expecting in that gallery, even between the visitors that are watching, to vote, really great conversations. And then, of course, the voting is going to be in the first day of the event. There's 2 days of the event. The second day of the event, then we know who are the three finalists who got most votes. That you and I are not involved in that. That's completely
yep,
up to the
yep,
audience. But then together, those three designs, and again, if you're there yourself, great. If not, of course, we will present each design with
of
even
course,
attention. But then we will brainstorm with this audience about how to make that or how to not make it, right? Because and this is also, I mean, we're going to record that session. It's also going to be very informative for people to understand, because of course not all participants might understand fully how shoes work. shoes are made, or even if you are a footwear veteran, you might not understand all the new technologies. You might be like, oh wow, I never knew that you could do it like this, or oh wow, we can do this actually way cheaper. And we never know what will come from that, right? Our goal is just to have the three
That's
shoes
it.
made. But if something is done and it's really successful, and a company wants to produce it as a series with you, I mean, open to
Mhm.
things. I
Yeah,
think what's also important that you will have a very busy schedule because you're coming to Barcelona, and oh, I also see here in Portugal we also have a great shoe museum. I know
yeah,
that, so maybe if
yeah.
we have Portuguese entries that we can also
Yeah.
collaborate
Anyway,
maybe with Portuguese museum.
we're putting your number down.
Exactly. I mean, shoes can always travel, right? But the good thing is you'll have a busy schedule because you're coming, of course, to Footwear to be there for the ceremony. But right after, you're going back because there's a huge event also happening in Miami from
Yeah.
the 5th of December. So our event's on December 2 and 3. But from the 5th of December, you will also be showing the designs where?
During
Tell
in the
me.
Miami Shoe Museum, in the research center, we had the shoe vault, but also we had screens, which is going behind me. But we're going to showcase all the 10 finalists, and of course, we come with the news of the three winners from Spain,
Yeah.
from Barcelona.
Yeah.
But this is going to happen during Art Basel in Miami. So
Yeah.
again, the exposure that you're going to have, but also the process. For me, what what I enjoy the most is the process. So the
Yeah.
process from the beginning, from this chat that we're having right now, next week the class with Nico and her team, and the whole process until you actually enter into the contest. You know that just from there you're gonna be another person because the information that
Yeah.
you're gonna get from the experts it is valuable. And
Yeah.
after that, of course, that event and what's gonna happen. We're gonna do a lot of social media. We're gonna do a lot of interviews, and we're gonna be showcasing the process again after when you guys finish and we choose
Yeah.
the one that that we think will go to the 10 finalists. We're going to start showcasing that, so you're going to get a lot of exposure into the industry and in the world. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
right now,
Exposure, knowledge,
technology.
contact,
Yeah,
a fully made shoe. And also, of course, as we start making the shoes, again, we will be sharing with people how that process goes because our goal is that those shoes will be not only great designs made in AI, but really showcases also of modern manufacturing technology, of new materials. We're going to try our utmost best to engage basically the entire industry
yeah.
in making those shoes. So I think
I,
that's quite a unique opportunity. I've never heard of an event where basically the audience is going to co-decide not only who wins, but also how we're going to make it. And potentially also contributing. I do expect that if those are really beautiful designs, that lots of people in the audience will be like, "Oh, that one's mine. I'm making that one." So it's
and
so I mean that's usually my experience how this happens. Yeah.
and they need to know that their content is protected. I mean, you have
Oh
the
yes.
rights for your design. We don't deal with that. We will help later on if that becomes a business. We can help after that event in Barcelona. We can actually guide you how to do it. But Futurology is gonna be the one in charge actually to help to develop this concept. And it's going to be being showcased in a museum research center in an innovation part of the museum. So make history with us.
Yep.
That's the idea,
Exactly.
and the part that I like also, like, it can be a team of three. We are max three
Yeah.
part, that can join efforts to create one design, and they with only one entry fee, the three designers can join the contest, and the three of them have to be, of course, present. We want everybody to be, we
Yep.
don't want anybody to copy
Yep.
anyone. That is, I mean, the royalty and the whole thing is all, the description is on the application, so we don't want any problem with this. But can you imagine that? I mean, I was talking with two of the architects that are members of the museum, and they, at the moment that I told him, like, hey, we're gonna release this contest, he was like, hey, I never designed shoes, but I'm part of the museum, so
Let's talk. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put my team to work because it's fascinating. And that can be in the resume that
Yeah.
especially architects. I mean, Nico and I would talk about architects that we love, the
Sure. Fields
design.
are little buildings for fields.
Yeah,
It's an
we have.
interesting one. So I think it's also really great, and that's also nice symbolic before the collaboration. Of course, both you and I are in places that are actually Spanish speaking mainly.
Correct.
So also for those of you that are not fluent in English or might not know any English at all, everybody is welcome to join the competition. If you, we will have to judge you in English. If you're not able to speak English, it's fine. Just give us translation. If you make the video and you do it with subtitles, it's also
Yeah,
fine. So
AI.
that also makes it, I think, as democratic as well. Well, even use there the AI. I mean, you have, of course, AIs that could make you speak any language that you like. So we're expecting people to be really creative. I mean, if you know how to use those AIs, you can make yourself talk in any language. So it's that is also the interesting thing. It's completely up to the audience how they present themselves. What is the actual content that you give to us? We have some criteria that we would like you to meet, simply so we can really compare the different designs, so that we do see everything from all angles, that we know your
Yeah,
background, and you know what is the idea. But how you present all of that, if that's for you, you presenting as an avatar in a video, I don't care how you do it. uh, as long as, I mean, of course, also we will be surprised, I hope, by the way people create, because
yeah,
indeed AI allows for different things. That's also why we have teams joining, because as you work in AI, you can collaborate on different things. It doesn't just have to be you drawing a thing. You're working in a team. You can, one person can start a prompt, other person can finish it, try do different things, do different collaborations on how you do the AI. So
yeah. I
I
mean,
think that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about, right? So what
yeah.
we what any other things you think we forgot,
The, the, the,
or
the, that the next step is just to start, getting people, inquire more information, and they can on Instagram. We're also gonna put this video on Instagram so we can get more information. We are Miami Shoe Museum is pressing all the platforms like YouTube, Instagram, whatever you name it. We are Miami Shoe Museum. That's what it is, and also Futurology. I mean, they are also lab, right? That's your
yeah.
handle.
So on Instagram we are footwearology_lab. People can find us on the Footwearology page, also on LinkedIn. Footwearology.com is our website. We will have on our Footwearize event page. I can put that in here actually. Footwearology.com and then /Footwearize is our event page.
Yeah.
That's also where we will have a link, obviously, to the competition, where people can see more about our event as a whole. And where exactly is it in Barcelona? It's a gorgeous location, also, by the way, where this is at. So everything people can find may be important also to say. So it's essentially 1 month, right, that we have of people sending in their entries,
Yep.
because November 8th is the cutoff. So anything that
Month.
comes
Yeah.
in November 8th, your final day that you can hand in your entries, because obviously we also want to have decent time to really carefully consider all the entries that are coming in and make sure that our teams are selecting the final 10 that we are then presenting to the audience of Footwear Eyes.
Yeah. I mean, again, make history with us. It's why we choose Miami as inspiration again, because the Miami Shoe Museum is looking really forward to establish a collection of creators in Miami. So we had the creators in the past, we had the one in the present, but we also want to include the ones that are no designers, or
Yeah.
if you want to get into the sneakers or whatever, also that's another one. Miami is
Yeah.
known for sneakerheads, right? A lot. I mean,
Yeah.
every time that people come to the museum, they're like, "What is the sneakers room?" I'm like, "We don't
Sneaker collection.
we will put it there, but I mean, we cover all styles, but sneakers is actually something that we're really into it right now. We have interviews and you can go and see it on Instagram. One of them is with Nico about what is going on in the industry. But sneakers are really changing the world, and it's been happening. We know it's been for a long time, but now it's changing. More like a customized design. So again, you have a lot of things to get inspired by, and we hope that this contest helps you to get to the point where you want to be. before
Yeah.
and get inspired to be where you want to be after. So
Yeah. That's
that's
great. That's great. So, and also for those of you who don't want to do sneaker, because it's also the city of glamour, so people are so lots of high heels as well. So we're open. So we're not talking to you about it has to be this or that. People, of course, know me a lot from sneakers, but we will have people in the room at Footwear all kinds of making methods. So we're not going to judge on style as such. It's much more about how you use the AI, how what is your concept, what are your ideas, how sustainable is the outcome that you're striving for, how original is that. So those are the things that we're going to be looking at, and then I'm greatly looking forward to see the results that will come out,
yeah.
because of course this is the first time that we do not only the collaboration, the museum, but also the fact that we do an actual contest where we not only say, well, you can do something in AI if you like. No, no, where it's about you do it in AI,
And something that
so that we see it as an asset.
yeah, you're gonna see in
Yeah.
the end, you're gonna see that your
So,
design live. So that's important. And who knows,
yeah,
like Nico said,
yeah,
who knows, maybe a company wants to develop that line. Yeah, we will go through that later on with you guys, that we help a little bit. We had a lot of sources around the world. Nico is an expert, connecting with all the industry, all the manufacturers in the world. So it's endless. The possibility is endless. And if you are looking for something to change your career or change your life, maybe this is the time.
yeah,
So
for
we're
sure.
up.
Exactly. I don't know if there are any questions. I just see lots of happy responses from people. So it could also be that people have questions. I mean, this will be posted also straight. Well, this will remain here on the Crowdcast for people to see, but also will be posted directly to LinkedIn, to the Footology page, and then be shared by both me and Luis. So people can also, of course, still leave any questions that they have or comments in the comments section of those.
Looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing it. I mean, you can participate individual or as a team of 2 or 3. It's all described on the page, and we're really looking forward to see what people think and what they can get from
Yeah.
AI in this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I think that brings us to the end of today's broadcast. And I greatly look forward. And I will announce also on LinkedIn and on our other channels the class for next week. So if people want to join the free AI class, more than welcome. And also any other questions people might have at the time, I can answer.
Well, thank you, and it's a pleasure. Today is a day that is we mark this in the calendar of both companies, and
Yeah.
in 1 month we will mark another a great day when we get all the results from you guys.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm super excited. So let's see, and let's kick this off. Okay, everybody. I wish everybody a good night. I wish you a good and safe trip home. I hope that the hurricane blows over fast and does not make too
Hopefully,
much
it
damage or harm. So
will be okay. But thank you for thinking about us.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you so much.
Bye.
Okay. Ciao, everybody. Bye bye.